The honorary degree will now be conferred. Mr. President, will you present the honorary degree candidate, Dr. Robert Mundell?
Mr. Chancellor, today we honor one of the preeminent economists of his generation. For nearly 50 years, Dr. Robert Mundell has been a generative thinker, one whose theories have transformed the core of teaching in his field of international macroeconomics and global monetary systems. A Canadian by birth, and of even more significance to us, a product of Greater Vancouver schooling, Robert Mundell was educated at the University of British Columbia, the University of Washington, and MIT. Subsequently, he embarked upon a brilliant career at the University of Chicago, where he was a charismatic and persuasive intellectual leader, and later at Columbia University, where today he is university professor. Throughout his career, Robert Mundell has been a theorist of great, even prophetic vision. His name was and is at the center of any serious debate about economic theory. A prolific scholar who has written seminal works on the history of the international monetary system, he early on challenged himself and his peers with probing and complex questions, such as how are the effects of monetary and fiscal policy related to the integration of international capital markets? How do these effects depend on whether a country fixes the value of its currency or allows it to float freely? His answers have shaped the field, established the foundation for the theory that guides practical policy considerations of monetary and fiscal policy in open economies, and influenced generations of young scholars. Among his pioneering contributions, many stand out for their foresight and special brilliance. These include the idea of optimum currency areas and the Mundell-Fleming model for analyzing open macroeconomies. Dr. Mundell has advised governments in Canada, Europe, and Latin America, as well as numerous international organizations, including the United Nations and the World Bank. He played a pivotal role in the founding of the euro, and his theories influenced the economic policies of the United States during the 1970s and 80s. In 1999, he received the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Science, and that same year, Time magazine named him one of the most important economists of the 20th century. He is a companion of the Order of Canada and a recipient of the Global Economics Prize, as well as some 40 honorary degrees and professorships from universities and institutions around the world. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of this university, I ask that you now confer upon Dr. Robert Mundell the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Robert Mundell, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Dr. Mundell will be hooded by Dr. Bill Crane, Associate Vice President of Academics.
It is with pleasure that I now call on Dr. Robert Mundell for his convocation address. Dr. Mundell?
Mr. President, Mr. Chancellor, Madam Chairman, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to be here, a great honor to become a graduate of Simon Fraser University. I've had the privilege of visiting this campus several times in the past. I think one in each of the 4 decades that it's been in existence. And so it's appropriate also that I use this occasion to congratulate the staff and the students and the parents of the 40th anniversary of this university. And it's one that has become an important university in Canada. Each decade I've come back, I've seen that more and more buildings, more and more students, and more prestige in the Canadian education structure and the North American economic structure. Over these past 40 years, tremendous changes have taken place in the world and taken place, therefore, in our individual lives. And we see tremendous changes in the political economic structure of the world. We see among other things, the end of the Cold War. And we have had a period of a half century of a high degree of peace in the world. And because of the end of the Cold War and the governance system that is establishing no competition for a big change in the world power structure, every outlook, every prospect of peace in the next few decades. And this is a very favorable time then to be a graduate of an important university and to take up the challenges that you'll face in the life that's coming. We have also in this decade the fantastic change in one of the 10, maybe one of the 5 most important industrial revolutions, the revolution in information technology, which has created access to knowledge for all those people who achieve a level where at least they can use computers that is open-ended. And it means that a student, you can't say once a student and that's over. It's once a student, always a student. The old saying that the wise man is always a student never applied more than it does today, when in the universities what we learn is not simply facts that change with time, but tools with which we can utilize and develop those facts. This is very much the case in my own field of economics, but it's true in every field. And I think of the challenges that we face in this world, which is, as I say, a very favorable outlook for global peace. We do need to improve the structures of global governance in each of the dimensions of life. In my own field, I see a great need to reestablish an international monetary system and have a better global monetary system than we had before. But it's equally true, if not more important, to have a better political structure that is durable, and it's not just a structure that depends upon the rise and fall of particular powers, but is something that can endure through the sequence as the power structures in the world change. So as I say to the individual, the graduands, the things, everyone would have a different lesson, but I would say, first of all, be true to yourself and try to help people, and to remember the saying that the wise man or the wise person is always a student. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mundell.